Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of January 15th through 21st. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video if you don't mind. It will really help us out with the algorithm. Now we're going to take a look into your general energies for the week. It's very important that you remain open and receptive to whatever might come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. I can read the energy that comes through, but I can't always make sense of every last detail. So very often that final step is up to you. So we've got a Four of Cups to start us out. Let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. Okay, so we've got some water, got some court cards here, some fire, some air, some fire, and some major arcana. So pretty good mix of cards here. We're going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. I want to use... I'm going to use the Antique Anatomy Tarot deck again. This has all been pre-shuffled. We're going to do one card from the middle randomly here. We're going to put that right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end. So stick around to the end of your reading. And hopefully that will, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end, okay? So I'm just going to straighten these up a little bit. So I feel like we've got kind of a stagnation of your emotional life right now. Maybe could be a romantic thing, a love thing. Could be in terms of your relationship a little bit. It seems like there is just a little bit of not so much disappointment, but a lack of excitement going on in the kind of romance, in the relationship realm right now. We got this Four of Cups, and this is telling me that things are stable, right? We're going to use our marine analogy. You're in the boat, the boat's anchored, okay? You're not really going anywhere. There's no excitement on the horizon. You maybe see some storms in the distance, but you're not headed that way. You're anchored kind of right here where you are. And there are no holes in the boat. It's not sinking. Things aren't just disintegrating and getting worse and worse and worse. They're just kind of stagnating. You're just kind of floating there. Not much is really happening. Okay, so in some sense, it is a little bit of disappointment. All right, it's a little bit of this kind of wish there was something going on. Okay, and crossing that kind of energy is this Sun card. So I feel like you are going to come to a realization about this relationship soon. And now I don't know exactly who this person is. We're going to get to it here in a minute. Some speculation, really, because this could be anybody. I feel like it's a romantic interest of some kind. Okay, it could be that you're wanting more from this relationship, but it's just not happening right now. But with this Sun card, I feel like you're going to find out why, okay? The sun kind of comes into the room and illumines every dark corner, right? There's nothing that can hide from this sunlight, all right? And I think this is really going to bring a lot of truth out. You're going to be able to see a lot of things that maybe you haven't been able to see up until now. Let's continue on before we narrow this down too much, okay? The recent past is this Prince of Swords. So I think this is an air sign person in your life. I think that they haven't been the most forthcoming with you. Okay, I think you already know that recent past card. I think this is someone that maybe has admitted to being untruthful with you recently, and you're kind of working on forgiving them. I think that's maybe why we see some of this stagnation where it's just like, things are okay, we're not getting worse, we're not getting any better, we're just floating here, we're just kind of anchored where we are. Could be that you're still processing this lack of honesty, this untruthfulness, okay? But what I'm getting this sense of is that there's more to the story. There's more that they are not telling. It's almost like they gave you enough information that you can feel like they've come clean, but there's more that they're hiding, okay? So I feel like they offered you a little bit they offered you a crumb, hoping that you'd be satisfied. But I think there's a lot more going on, okay? And could be an air sign person. I'm getting a kind of mixed signal about what their sign placement might be. And I think it's because their energy is kind of shifting. You know what I mean? Where they're being a little bit truthful, but not all the way. And so there's this really strong uncertainty. Sometimes I get an air sign feeling or an earth sign feeling. Now I'm kind of getting a fire sign feeling. I don't think they're a water sign. That's the one that we can rule out. Okay. So it's either air, earth, or fire. Maybe as we go through, we can try to clarify that. Okay. But I do feel like whoever this person is doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic relationship. Could be a platonic relationship, could be a work relationship. But it's some particular person that I think is going to, if they haven't yet, they're going to offer you a little bit of honesty, a little bit of truth. Hopefully that'll placate you. But it's not the whole story. Okay? And it leaves you a little uncertain. It leaves you a little bit kind of listless. You're not sure where to go with it, what to do with that. And that's why we see that Four of Cups. The saving grace, the good news. Major Arcana card, Sun card. This truth is going to be revealed. Something's going to be brought into this light. Okay? You're going to discover what this thing is, what exactly is going on here. All right? Beneath the surface, we do have more of this water energy. This is the Five of Cups. This is kind of that storm that you see off in the distance. And it's like, I think deep down, underneath it all, you'd rather just have this thing out. You'd rather know all of the information, right, through this Sun card. You'd rather be fully illuminated and have this storm, have this argument, have this fight, right? Have this turmoil, have this emotional upset, because it's better than remaining here in the uncertain, stagnant waters. The boat's not going anywhere. At least here it's going somewhere. It's traveling. It's making progress somewhere, in some direction. You know what I mean? So you'd rather be fully aware and have it be upsetting than to be kept kind of in the dark and be uncertain about how you feel. You're not really angry yet, but you don't feel anything. You're just kind of floating here. So I think that's, underneath everything, deep down, I think you want to know the truth. And that seems pretty obvious to me, right? Like I think a lot of us would rather know the truth, even if it's going to be upsetting. Okay? And this is kind of that impulse for you to want to engage in this argument. If it's going to bring the truth out and you're going to be fully informed, well, it's worth the effort. It's worth the kind of upset. It's worth the fight, the discussion, etc. What we see above everything, at the top of the path of the dove, is another prince. Okay, so I don't know if this is the same person, maybe shifting between the air and the earth qualities, energies, or if this is in some way who you thought they were, what you thought they were about. It could be that you had this kind of ideal set up about them. It could be something quite simple, like you thought that they were a very stable, steady person, had a good job, had a good head on their shoulders, was productive, was very responsible, right? All of these earth kind of qualities. Had a solid foundation, made money and did work and had everything, doing everything right. But it could be in reality that they're just a little bit more of this unpredictable, shifty air energy. Okay, and that's kind of why I'm getting this conflicting feeling about what their sign really is. It could be that they just have a very wild mix of elements in their astrological chart. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling with all of this. So there is this picture that you've set up of them, where you were expecting them to be a certain way. Maybe they presented themselves that way, that they've got a good job, they're responsible, they're doing everything right, they've got their life together in this earth energy. But in reality, it's a little bit more of this shifting wind. Okay. In the immediate future, I think once this illumination happens, once the sun fully brings to light all of this information, the real truth of things here, you're going to have this Emperor energy. You're going to have some decisions to make. You're going to have to take charge, stand up for yourself, be the leader, be the authority, have confidence, and take care of business. Do what you need to do for yourself. You know, and I'm not going to tell you what this action is, but this is you being the boss of your life and making the decisions that are best for you, doing what's right. So this is you taking control of the situation. And with this illumination that we see here, with this information, this illumination, you're doing what needs to be done for yourself to take care of business in the safest, easiest, quickest, least tumultuous way, I think. So good energy to have, not fun, not lighthearted and cheerful. You know, not what we want to. We don't want to have to be this energy. You know what I mean? But sometimes we need this Emperor in us to be activated, right? If it's like an archetype, we need it to be activated. And I think it's going to be this illumination that's going to bring this quality out in you, and you're going to make those tough decisions, and you're going to take the actions and the steps necessary to ensure your own safety, your health, your security, and your future, right? Your success. You're going to do what needs to be done. And again, I want to emphasize this doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic thing. It could be happening in the workplace. This could be a subordinate, an employee of yours, a coworker, right? It could be a friend. It could be a family member even. But something's going on with this particular person. And I don't think they are being 100% truthful with you. I think they are going to offer you a little crumb, but it's not going to be the whole pie. I don't know. It's not going to be the whole thing. We're going to move over to the path of the serpent now, but I do want to emphasize that the cards here are always right. Even though I may seem a little conflicted on how to interpret this, the cards are never wrong. I just don't quite understand your situation to every last detail, and that's why it's so important for you to connect directly with these cards. Okay? Use your own intuition to go beyond what I'm telling you. Okay? So that's out of the way. Path of the serpent. We see some conflicting information coming in, and this Seven of Swords is your general energy. I think you don't know what to make of it. You don't know what's the truth and what's not. You're looking for this central sword. That is the truth. That is the light. That is the way. But it's not coming in so clearly. There's a lot of conflicting information. It's almost like the more you ask questions or the more you inquire, the more kind of garbage you're getting fed, right? It's just maybe conflicting information. Maybe the story changes. Maybe the truth changes. Maybe this person becomes a little heated or tries to circumvent the questions, tries to kind of just beat around it a little bit, right? You can't get to this central truth, and this, I think, has been how you've been feeling, okay? A lot of maybe misinformation coming in, conflicting information, and you really don't know what the truth is. You don't know which way is up at this point. Okay, I think we're one step away from that Eight of Swords, which we don't want to get to the Eight of Swords. So let's stop at the Seven here, okay? And let's wait. Let's wait for this energy to come in and illuminate everything. I think you pressing the subject, asking the questions, trying to figure out this situation with your communication, with questioning, with investigation, right, is futile. I don't think that's going to really lead you anywhere except further down to the 8, the 9, the 10 of Swords. We don't want that. Let's stop at the 7. Let's try to work our way back up to that Ace, that central sword, that truth, that light, that way. We have to wait for the sun for that. Okay, and that could take the form of a flash of insight. Could be that light bulb that goes off above your head with the information, with the realization. It could be a piece of information coming in. It could be that something completely out of your control happens and everything just comes out. Everything gets illuminated, right? We have to wait for that moment, whatever that might be, all right? And I don't think it's going to be through your direct investigation that you're going to learn the truth, okay? The next card that we have, this is the one that kind of was conflicting me a little bit. And this is in terms of your environment, in terms of this relationship. And this is the Eight of Wands. This card is all about things happening very quickly, very spontaneous energy, very electrical, very not really giving you a lot of time to think and react and process and prepare. It's just, it happens really fast. Okay, so I don't know if this is this person with these kind of really fast shifting communiques, you know, their sharing of information is just in many different directions. It's kind of going through that rainbow there where it gets diffracted. It's the diffraction of light, right? So it's taking that central sword, right, that pure light, and it's diffracting it through the, you know, whatever element, a water element of some kind. But it's causing this myriad of colors, and you don't know which one is the right one. You know, I don't know if this is even, if this analogy is working at all. But it's the kind of confusion. There's just so much information that you don't know what is the real truth and light and what is just the many different colors here that don't mean anything, right? So it could be that he is, I say he, it's not gender specific. I say he because these are princes, the cards have a male figure, but not gender specific. This person, they are sending so many mixed messages. It's almost like they're trying to just confuse you with so many different messages, right? And that's kind of the Eight of Wands. It's just a lot all at once, and they're all different. And you don't know which one's the right one, right? And this could be part of their nature. It could be, that's why I think maybe they are a fire sign, right? But that's conflicting with this air and this earth sign that we see over here. I think probably air and earth are their true nature. Maybe the air specifically is their true nature. I think you thought them to be more of the earth energy, and right now they're interacting with you in this very fiery way, right? With this very quick, confusing, almost meaningless, like rapid fire information just to throw you off the trail, to offer you so much data that you don't know where that central sword is, right? So these two are very similar, and they pretty much go together. I think your general energy is one of trying to sift through all of this information to find out what is really going on. And this person is not helping because they're just adding to the data. They feel like if they bury you in a mountain of information that you'll never find the needle, the central sword in that haystack, you know? And it could be also that this relationship, this situation came upon you very quickly. It could be that you haven't known this person for very long. And with that rather short of a time frame, you didn't have a lot of opportunity to truly get to know them. And so now that you're in the middle of all of this energy, it's even more difficult to find out who they really are, what the truth really is. Okay. The next thing that we see, interestingly, and I'm not too happy about this, but we see a Princess of Wands, and this is your concern card. I think you are worried that you're overreacting, right? You're concerned that you're being just drama, that you're just starting drama for nothing, okay? That you're just instigating things, and there's really no substance here, and this is meaningless, and you're just being aggressive, you're being out of line, you're overreacting, you're being a drama. I don't think that's true. So I said I'm not really happy about this energy because I don't want you to try to check yourself in that way. You know, I think if you're feeling this, if this is going on around you, don't second guess yourself, right? Trust your instinct. Trust the feelings that you have. Okay, do so logically, rationally, do so sanely and safely, you know, but don't talk yourself out of this by thinking that you're overreacting or that you're being a drama, that you're starting drama for no real reason, okay? But I think this is a little bit of that doubt that's going to creep in, okay? What we see next, the final card on the path of the Serpent, is this Fool energy. This is interesting because as much as we are looking for the truth, trying to sort out what's going on in this relationship, the ultimate energy here, the final kind of card is just saying, who cares? Right? Interesting. It's interesting that we would end on this, because I think once all of this is said and done, once you get to the bottom of this, or this illumination comes, once this is sorted out, I think at the very end, it's not going to affect you. You're not really going to be so bothered by it. I think if whatever it turns out to be, you're going to be able to shake it off and keep going. You're going to dance along your merry way, and that's not going to change who you are. It's not going to change the success or the joy or the path that you're on in your life. Okay, this Fool is going to keep on keeping on, regardless of this. So it's interesting that with all of this energy, everything we talked about, the ending is, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's a foolish thing. This circumstance, this environment, this thing that's going on, really is kind of meaningless and doesn't really matter. But that's not taking away from the subjective component of it. We do feel that things are important and things do affect us, even if in the grand scheme of your life, in the grand scheme of the universe, this is not even on the radar. But for us, for you, it is, because we are in this body, we are this soul, and we are experiencing this, and it affects us. So something could be the most serious, the most important, most urgent matter of your life, the fight of your life right now. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not even a blip, not even on the radar at all. And it can be both. Both can be true. Wisdom and folly, right? The Fool is not just going about his merry way. Again, not gender specific. If any card is like non-binary, it's definitely the Fool. The Fool is all energy. The Fool embraces everything, expands into everything. So whatever this is, the Fool is going to experience it and just kind of chuckle and be like, well, yeah, okay, that was an experience. And then keep moving on, keep expanding, keep embracing new energies all the time. And so this is, kind of a good recommendation for you. Don't take this too seriously. Don't let it ruin your day. You have to handle it. You have to feel how you feel. Okay? Your feelings are always valid. But at the end of the day, don't let it affect you too seriously. Don't take it too seriously, right? Invoke a little bit of this Fool energy. But let's look at this confirmation card, because I want to see what that could be. This could be the Fool again. The Fool likes to pop up in different places, especially since we're using the Antique Anatomy Tarot deck. Again, one of my favorite decks. I just got it. It's not even broken in yet. But the imagery is just, I think it really vibes with the channel here. Let me know what you think. I don't know who made it. I can't remember the name, but I love the deck. It's a really good one. As far as the mystery card goes, I don't know what we should be expecting here. Maybe some water energy. Because we saw some water here, and it wasn't the best kind of water. So I would like to see a 6 or a 9 of cups, I think would be a beautiful way to finish this off. But I feel like it's not going to be. And this is the 14th mystery of the tarot, the Art or Temperance card. This is kind of in line with what we were just talking about, and this really is some beautiful, beautiful imagery. It's kind of about the balancing of the emotion and the intellect, right? It's balancing these two extremes that we feel. It's either that Fool energy where we don't care, this is all meaningless, and that really intense subjective feeling like this is just the worst thing I could be going through right now. This just feels terrible. It's trying to temper both and find the middle path, right? It's the corpus callosum, or whatever it's called, in between the two hemispheres there. And this is, trying to squeeze together both sides of our brain into one kind of greater power, right? So we can't be too careless or carefree, too frivolous about things, too nonchalant, even though, intellectually and spiritually we know, hey, this is not the worst thing in life. This is not as bad as it feels. I'm going to be okay. This is not all that important. It's not that serious. And then on the other side, how terrible it feels right now, and how kind of listless you are, how 4 of Cups you are, and how 5 of Cups you feel, So this is really about trying to temper ourselves and also tempering our expectations, right? So we set ourselves up for disappointment when we expect something that's unreasonable. Now, I'm not saying to lower your standards or lower the bar or anything. It's just a way of not being too crushed when things don't work out the way we want them to. And that's some of that Fool energy, because the Fool doesn't really expect anything. It's kind of dumb in that way. Doesn't think of what the future is. It only thinks of what's right now. And yes, right now this may feel quite terrible. Okay? So we have to try to temper that. We have to artistically, right, with this Temperance card, with this combining of the opposite ways of looking at this, we have to try to temper the severity of it, right? And bring in a little bit of our spiritual essence, a little bit of the air element, the Fool energy, right? Deep breathing, calm meditation, a little bit of joy and cheerfulness too, and also the logic, because the air is also the thinking mind, right? To reassure ourselves, reaffirm that whatever happens in this situation, we're going to be okay. Things are going to be fine. We're still living our life. We're still fulfilling our fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it. We're still on the path, So this Art or Temperance card is trying to sort out the two kind of opposite extremes that we're seeing here. So I think this is a really wonderful confirmation card. And we're going to take a quick look in the extended. If you want to stick around, you can become a member to the channel. The information for that's in the description box. Just click on the link. You'll see all the info. Yeah, this was your weekly tarot reading for January 15th through 21st here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.